What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. I've been working on those audio sync glitches, so hopefully we're keeping up a little better with the audio on this video, and the glitches are less often, but we'll see how it goes. Let's talk about the elephant in the room with today's Market Watch, though. Sprite Blue is nearing $100 again. People want playsets of these when they're going for them, and also Primeval Planet is around $85. A lot of people looking forward to November. The Ishizu releases. This deck gets even stronger, and out the gate, they're not tier 0, they're not full takeovers, there's still a diversified meta to a degree, but, you know, first, second place over at DFW Regionals, double tier limit tops also, we're seeing a very good and strong showing from these decks, but also Brandon's starting to climb the ladder again and start to do a little better. It seems to have a decent mix with tier elements as well as matchup there for it. I do think with Sprite Blue, here's the thing. You have vendors that haven't even listed their inventory yet. It's opening weekend. They haven't even had time to sit down in office till today. They've gone to all these events. They bought all these cards, and they're going to get to the listing throughout the week. And this spike only, you know, makes them want to maybe list a little bit slower, see if I can get a bit more for this, but I do think through the regional season you will see competition ramp up on these cards. You'll see more of this product open, but how will it do versus the demand of people already knowing tier limits are getting stronger? That's why I think it might be like a juiced burst of destiny situation where DPE did do nothing but climb, and then you had other mid-range cards really spike on up here and there. You had like Small World, you had, you know, Lord of the Heavenly Prison, you had so many cards that were like under expectations that came back up, sank down, came back up again. So within this, maybe Exo Sisters does a little better than people thought. It is punching up, it's almost there, it's bubbling towards the top, and then you have also, you know, Ultimate Slayer. I see people in the groups going, when are people gonna buy this out, realizing it just outs the Sprite board completely. You can't respond, and then you force the Toad, and a lot of people thinking that it's going to be taking over versus Dark Ruler no more, because you can still attack for game, which we did see with Droplets, where Droplets was underestimated initially. And the more I do see Ultimate Slayer played, the more I like it rather than the typical removal card that would take care of like one monster. This does answer boards pretty darn well. The middle range also is still pretty darn high in price, but lower than what a lot of vendors thought it would be. Like, I think a lot of people expected to be getting $15 for their gigantic sprites, but here they are down towards 6 some odd. But then you do have the tier limit Ultra at 20 here and Sprite Starter at 15, and those are also very good cards for the deck, right? So you do have a lot more going for Ultras than the typical deck, making the entire thing more expensive. My advice, though, again, you're gambling either way. While I'm not a financial advisor, I think that you're either gambling that the demand will actually quell for these as the regional season goes on, the people get their decks, have it, and then less people will be interested, which I don't think is the case for the Ishizu stuff, since it does only get stronger. I think some Sprite players will give up their Sprite deck at some point if they call it best in the format now and end up going for tier limits. So realistically, if you buy it now, you're gambling that it doesn't get cheaper throughout the season as people do get their decks, but then depending on the deck, it also could be going up even more later, especially as the Megatons make other things cheaper and bring those prices down, and this is the stuff not getting reprinted. You got to think about when you're playing, what you're playing for, what events you're going towards, and try to just get your timing down. Next up, we do have a lot of different buyouts in the format. Mathmech Diameter is $1 plus common and running out of quantities at this point. So if you are on Mathmechs, apparently 3 of them did top this regional weekend. Well, out of 7 regionals, that's actually not too bad. Almost every other regional had a Mathmech in the top cut, so it is living up past the hype I thought it would get. I thought it would get a top here or there each and every weekend, but instead, pretty strong showing initially, and there is $1 plus common out of Rise of the Duel, so you might want to be searching your bulk, or if you're building the deck, try to get one, you know, out of your bulk for free instead of paying for it. Signet Mining is also going up in price. The gold letter rares, look at this. Market price $450. It's been going up over time. And of course, if you're on a Cyverse deck like Mathmex, you're probably thinking about playing this card. The supers are around 7. I would probably get a holographic over the gold letter rare because it will fall back out, less versus, say, a gold letter rare would if a reprint is announced. But again, these mid rarities versus the max of secret rare will also fall out quicker. First edition secrets are sitting at around $18, still for sale around there, so they haven't spiked enormously, but people just want access to this card, which does tell me perhaps at some point you could see Signet Mining actually go back up towards 30 some odd dollars for the secret rare. But I do want to remind you, this is one of the actually overprinted secret rares, believe it or not, in Dark Neostorm. They used to short some secrets, and you see them more commonly. Signet Mining was actually more common in Dark Neostorm in the pull rates back then, so do keep that in mind as well. Branded Opening and a couple of other cards around the deck are baby bumping up in price. You can see the market price just a couple days ago was $15, and throughout the weekend $17, and now $18 is the lowest before it's quickly $19 to $20 on the front page. Guardian Chimera also was going up a little bit before that, but is now around $44-45 for sale. And then you see a Luber, and while there are this for $5 pretty easily, it's been holding 6 for a bit, and now you see it's quickly towards $7 on the front page. So looking through every single version, baby bumps on the branded stuff as people turn back around to it. I know Lofton has been showing off that Ito play, the FTK as he's dubbed it, but you also do see a lot of people starting to pay attention that this does mix a bit with tier elements and the deck and versions that they want to play. Millennium Eyes Restrict is going even crazier, and that's what happens when you hit a metagame. Sometimes the buyouts bubble into it and they just keep spiking, and then other times they fall back down. Well, this one, the ultra rare, is completely gone off the market. Wait, actually, while I've loaded tabs, we do have one seller, 0% feedback, $100. Congratulations, there's a near mint on the market. The damaged one actually wasn't there either earlier, so opportunistic sellers trying to get a piece there. And the secret rare also spiking even further, $63.65 freaking dollars. Ultimate rare instant fusion, and in fact every version of instant fusion is kind of running lower on quantities, but the ultimate rare especially is way up there in price, the lowest being around $180. King of the Swamp also getting a little crazier. Look, every single market price right now is like starting to spike, but the lowest listings are way above, triple above some of those even. So it's looking like the cheapest of these are now towards $15. People are very excited to play this format, which is a good thing for Yu-Gi-Oh!, but depending on the deck you wanted to play, a very bad thing for you. We also see Soul Drains continuing to get lower in quantities, higher in price, especially for the holographics. Illusion of Chaos seeing a bit of a spike in price as some people were on the Magician Souls engine, although not too many in Top Cut, but they did top, and we do see here, not going too crazy or anything in reaction to that, but do be aware that Illusion of Chaos is up a bit in price. Absolute King Backjack, I have trouble saying that card's name fast on the fly, but DB Grinder has featured this, and it seems to be doing very well all of a sudden on the market as people look over and say, that's not terrible for tier elements, how you get those free advantages and that sort of as well. Check out DB Grinder's video on it. Paleozoic Dynamiscus, it actually had a pretty good result as well at the DFW regional, if I recall. We see the holographics for this are actually towards an all-time low versus how they had been in recent times, so I would think about picking those up sooner than later. They're under $2 for the supers, and the ultra rares are also very readily available around that $2 mark. It's a level 2, it's trap removal, it kind of mixes in pretty well with Sprite depending on if you're going first or second, and can take care of face-up floodgate problems for you because it targets a face-up card on the field, and also does not discard for cost, it discards on resolution. Golem Century, I guess we're still buying out GOAT format cards. Suddenly the super rare out of Battle Pack is spiking, the DR version is going up here, so yeah, GOAT format tech suddenly getting attention. I'm not too in the know on the dinosaur formats, despite being a dinosaur, to really tell you about this one, other than I remember Pac-Man decks, and I still feel like there were better cards for Pac-Man decks, but maybe it fills in, you know, a niche that needed to be filled in. And now I'll do merch. So many people felt attacked last video. Oh my gosh, you did so much merch. You guys realize I still did over 8 minutes of cards, which could have been the video by itself. And they're like, oh no, you're doing this because you're just interested in using your highest traffic video. You realize if I wait till I do a product review that the merch is completely sold out, that I wouldn't be able to say, hey guys, here's where you can go buy it, and send on the secondary market. Yeah, that ends up happening. So Stay Classy does have a sale today. Code What's Good 5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly. They've marked everything down towards $25, and I really do like some of their newer style field centers, and I think that they've been doing a really good job on them. But you do have some of the classics like Cyber Dragon in green or Stardust Dragon that look insanely nice. Also, I want to shout out Pin Club. They're not a sponsor at all. I got this Neos in thinking it would be, you know, kind of that vanilla-like color that's on there. Instead, it's completely chrome and looks so awesome. They have limited pins from their, I think it's Comic-Con at Home or something. They're calling it the Summer Kawaii event. But this Pegasus pin with his non-tune tunes and the sparkly graphic, and then the Harpy Pet Dragon, and I want to say the Flame Swordsman looks a lot better in person. All of these are limited pins from this event, and I would think about getting them. They do sell out of their pins and not restock at times. Adidas in the Philippines has actually gotten themselves some Yu-Gi-Oh slides. So while they're the basic, oh my gosh, overused DM era graphics, I just thought it was awesome representation, and so did a lot of other people. And then we see the new gold cards coming up here, and I am so excited because this is the best glam for Celtic Guardian. I will fight you on that. Out of the original anime, not out of special arts. And then the Gaia. The more I stare at this Gaia, the cooler and better it is. It's one of the best gold cards they have done. And then Time Magic, not the best Time Wizard glam, not the worst, but he's goofy. Time Wizard. If you're wondering where you can pick these up, code What's Good 5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly. Makes them cheaper than pretty much anywhere. Shop Yu-Gi-Oh kind of juices the prices. National shipping prices tacked on. Well, tier 0 when you're buying 3 of these is free shipping worldwide, but I also like to end up putting these on top of a cart. Like, let's say your pre-orders or a sale, Black Friday sale, doesn't quite hit that 60 pounds. Well, you can end up adding one of these and it usually gets you there, and I really do like them. They're out of the Blue Eyes now, and the God cards were the very first to release, but tons of amazing option. And if you are one of those people that are like, oh, I'm sick of DM era, they have Stardust, they have Utopia, and they do have the regular metal cards that are cheaper, but the golds, they just look a lot better for a ton of these. So there's your Merchant Watch for the day on top. And not every Market Watch is going to have a Merchant Watch, but sometimes if I save it towards the very end of the week, it would be like a 10-minute one. And I like to show off and use the segment to tell you guys what I think is cool, sponsored or not as well, paid full price. And when it comes to some of my also sponsors, sometimes I'm actually spending my money on them as well. It happens. I like to get extra things for stream giveaways, and it's things I genuinely want to win and end up giving out. So people that are actually getting mad at the segment, no matter where I put it, get to the cards, John. I led with the cards, but I'm not just trying to use this for the biggest mass traffic. It's limited items that end up selling out that aren't always going to be there. The gold cards, they're all limited as well. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the conversations, and let me know what you think of everything going on within the market itself. Power of the Elements, very crazy. A lot of people did expect this to be a madhouse, and we'll see how vendors list throughout the weeks and how competition ramps up versus regional weekends and people getting shaky saying, I gotta have it now or my event's coming up, because 16 listings right now, that's not a freaking lot, or 32 on the field spell as well. And when we're seeing that kind of stuff, yes, competition is going to be there, but also sometimes the lower prices will get snap called. We'll see how it goes again throughout the week. Thanks for watching, everybody.